Okay, time to update the tier list for GP. The global tier list will not be updated for a while because they're not dropping any units that weren't already in the tier list. Only like Red Merlin wasn't in there, but I put a pinned comment where she would be. That should be enough. But the JP one, they dropped 5 units in the past month. One of them being the new Meliodas, which pretty good. And also I did some adjustments to the tier list because of some of the meta changes. Yeah. Let me start in. So some of the adjustments I made were, I did take off the Meliodas plus Lilia tier. I did that because Meliodas plus Lilia has kind of been downed on PvP. So right now with the new Meliodas, the blue DML Lilia composition has been weakened severely. It's not very it's not like you can't use it anymore. It's just been very weakened. So I did make the tier. I break the tier. I bump Lilia into God tier because she is so good. She deserves it. And then I put DML in the SS tier. DML is a super good unit. That's why he's in the SS tier. But Lilia is so much more versatile being a support unit. She does have heal. She does have the takeoff ult gauge. Her ultimate hits really hard. She makes units around her much better. So that's why I put her in the God tier. And I broke the whole tier apart and just put DML in the SS tier. Also, I bumped up Red Merlin and Gustav from S tier to SS tier, mostly because now we kind of have confirmation that super bosses and activities alike will be of damage, right? The more damage you do, the more points you get, so the value for these freeze units just keeps getting higher and higher, so the freeze units, I think deserve the bump up. I bumped down Valenti and Green Demon Melee. Valenti was because with the but with Blue DML being less around, Valenti also got a little bit of a nerf per se. So she is a little bit more off meta, that's why I put her down a little bit. And Green DML, he just has no use almost. Like he is very specific. He's really good. It's just that there's no activities that you really use him. That's why I put him down. I forgot I was also gonna put down Green DN to the A tier because again, there's no real reason to use her over Hauser, because the only real thing that you'd use her, right, is if for soloing food stages on easy, because she has two attacks. But you might as well just use Hauser. Hauser is just better, so that's why I'm bumping her down. Just less usability. It's a really good unit, it just lacks usability. So I think that was it. I did do some other changes. I did bump down Green Derriere to B tier because she's terrible. I did bump down some units, but nothing important, just random units. So, starting off with the original characters, Eastin is a new support unit. She does the same things that Helbram does, but she's better. So let me actually bring her up, I forgot. Eastin is a fantastic unit. She does have the same card as Green Hellborn, like I said, which boosts allies by attack-related stats, and her passive is that she increases her basic stats per buffs on allies, which includes her buff. So she is a very versatile unit that you'll be using like in a lot of situations, especially with how good her stats is compared to Green Hellborn. She is a much better unit for the boost. So I'm giving her the SS tier. She is really good, and she's actually very usable in PvP. I did face a lot of Eastin teams in PvP, did not lose, but her ultimate is scary, is what I'm trying to say. Her ultimate being an AoE ultimate that has spike, her ultimate is very scary as well. She's a fantastic unit. And also she gets ult gauge by attacking, so she can get ultimates very easily. She's really good for farming. If you want to use the farming team of Blue DML, Lilia, and Eastin, that's a very good option instead of using Hauser, right? Really good option. I tried it out for a little bit. So Eastin is a very versatile unit, very good. She's really good. That's why I'm putting her in the SS tier. If you did summon for her, she was guaranteed in the banner, which is another good thing. So they clearly put a better unit guaranteed, which was good. So that's why I'm bumping her to the SS tier. Moving on, we have Mono. Unfortunate. Mono is one of the hottest characters in the game. She probably just loses to Lilia, and she's not very good. Like, the thing is that her kit could be so much better if it just worked a little different. Her passive is that she increases damage dealt by 50% if attacking units with bleed, poison, or shock. This would have been so much better if it was any debuff. If the enemy had any debuff, it would do extra 50% damage. Being segregated to bleed, poison, and shock was a terrible idea. And then Inflict Severe, which is pretty good because she pretty much only guarantees crit, but her crit damage is 130, so it's like, why even bother, right? Her crit damage is not that high, so why even bother? She has Poison, which is not good. Poison is the worst of the kind of extra damage thingies, right? The best would be Bleed, the worst would be Poison, so she has Poison in her card, it's not very good. Then her ultimate does inflict Bleed, but if you're doing only the ultimate, it doesn't proc the passive. So she can be, if you think of every single thing that she does, right? She can be a very high damaging unit. If you poison someone and then ult, the bleed, because it's gonna do extra 80%, she does extra 160% of her ultimate, right? It just takes another 2 turns to do that damage. If you add everything up, she is a very high damaging unit. But what's the point? It's gonna take multiple turns to do all that damage anyways. You might as well just use another unit that does more damage, or the same amount of damage or more in just one turn, like Red Demon Melee, or God forbid, Derriere, dude. She's the same typing. So Mono just has no use. Again, she could be good, but she isn't. She just isn't. So she goes to the B tier alongside. I just realized the B tier only has girls. Yes. But yeah, so moving on, we have Blue Arthur. Blue Arthur had a terrible banner because he is a free unit, but when it comes to being good, he is really good. I give him the S tier. Can't give him any higher though. I really want to give him the SS tier, but he only has one use, which is Red Demon. I am actually using him on a Red Demon. He is really good for Red Demon. Pretty much, the more ult gauge he has, the more damage he does on crits, adding to a total of extra 100% crit damage on top of his already 150. And he has 50% crit chance, and in his ultimate he gets Severe, which increases crit chance, so 100%. And if you use Merlin as a combo, she also increases by 20% pretty much. So he has like 140% give or take crit chance. So, or his ultimate, right? On normal attacks, he has like 70 plus. So it's like, he does crit a lot, so he is doing the extra damage quite a bit. The only issue is that, again, he just only has one use because his normal card only does damage, but on level 3 he does clear stances, and he stuns. The stun is so big, but it's only on level 3, and that's the unfortunate part. If it was on level 2, he would be so big. He would be really stupid. I would give him the SS tier at least, maybe even God tier if he's still on level 2. It depends on the situation. Nah, honestly, if he's still on level 2, I would give him the God tier, because then at that point he attacks heals and stuns really easily. Yeah, he would deserve it. But stunning on level 3, you need a lot of RNG for that, and it's just not something you can count with. But his ultimate hits really hard. If you give him attack and crit damage, he can hit for like 500k with like a Eastin attack boost on the Red Demon. Red Demon right now, I only do Hell. I only do Red Demon Hell. And on Hell, I see so many people using Arthur. And if you use Arthur Slater and then Eastin, you're doing so much crit damage. And just put crit damage food, right? He's doing like a lot of damage on the Red Demon. But he's only used for the Red Demon. So he's a free unit. So really good free unit. Not one of the best if you really consider, like, we have so many good free units like Gopher, King, Red Escanor, Esterosa. They are free units because they're coin shop, right? That's what we consider the free units of this game. Jericho is a free unit because you can buy her in the coin shop as well. There are better free units than him, but he's still a really good free unit. Oh, by the way, the tiers don't have like left to right or anything. It's just the tier is the tier, right? He is, I think, on par with Bond Insulated for Red Demon, if not better than Bond Insulated for Red Demon. I actually do want to bump down Bond because we're getting so many more options for Red Demon, but I'll keep him like that for a little bit. Moving on, we have Frojin. It's so upsetting because he's so bad. So, my mate James is really good in PvP, and we're talking, and he said there's one situation where Frojin is a good unit. If you are a mega whale and you have him 6/6 with his costumes leveled up to the maximum, all his costumes leveled up to the maximum, he's a pretty decent usable unit. Not even good, usable. Because then he's gonna have more CC than everyone. But if you're using HP and defense, right? But if you don't, he's useless. He's pretty much useless. His only thing going on is this, which is that if he has higher CC than someone, then they can get their ult cage for 2 turns on PvP. Yeah, they should. I'm gonna tell Aoki to change this to PvP, because it's only on PvP that this works. Just to make sure. It says enemy hero, so it's clearly meant PvP, but I'm gonna just tell her to put in brackets only PvP. But yeah, his cards are trash. Extort on only one person is trash. This AoE is trash. His ultimate is okay. It's like every ultimate. Every ultimate is okay. He is a very bad unit. Very bad. He has the worst critical damage multiplier I've ever seen. 105%. Does Grimmore even have 105%? 120. He has worse crit damage multiplier than Blue Grimmore. He has 5% crit chance, 10% pierce rate. He has terrible base stats. He's a really bad unit. Really, really bad unit. I consider him a bottom 3 worst SSRs in the game. He is alongside Grimmore, Halloween Melee, and it's now Frojin. It's only so a lot of my friends are like, it's only matching, right? Grimmore and his dad are like the 2 worst units in the game, and I would say yes. It's actually pretty sad. We are getting a coin shop Frojin. He might be better, but we don't know. This is just looking at the stats, right? Because of course the coin shop Frojin is gonna have the same stats, so 10% pierce rate, 5% crit chance, 105% crit damage. He's probably not gonna be very good, but we'll see. The coin shop Frojin hopefully is much better, but I don't have much faith. He does have probably one of the sickest costumes in the game, but that's all he has going for him, so yeah. Now to the last one, and it is new Meliodas. I don't think there's much to say. He is probably the second best overall unit in the game, only losing to Gopher. I closed the website. Only losing to Gopher. Again, Gopher is just impossible to take. I'm not. This is not in order, but kind of. I don't know. Only losing to Gopher, as Gopher is still the best unit in the game. But Melee is just so stupid. He is really good for PvP and really good for PvE activity. He's not very good in raids. Raids, of course, are not very good, but anything that is especially against 3 enemies, he is so stupid because his AoE card does so much damage. He has 70% crit chance, 70% resistance, 170% crit damage. His passive is that when he gets crit on, he ranks up his cards, and to complement that, he has 0% crit resistance, so he gets crit on all the time, and his cards rank up all the time. You don't need Gopher when using him, which is big. And and he has a link with Bond as well, which has lifesteal, so when he does damage, he heals as well. And his ultimate is the single hardest hitting AoE ultimate in the game. Hits super hard. It's just the whole combination of everything that he does is just so stupid. He is the first festival unit in the game, so it makes sense for him to be the best summonable unit in the game. I hope that he is featured in the next festival banners as like an actual like featured unit in them. Maybe they'll just put him as like unfeatured in those banners, but hopefully he will be featured in the next festival units moving forward. First festival banners, right, moving forward, because I know a lot of people couldn't pull him this one, and maybe they aren't playing the game and they want to come in, and his banners are leaving right in a few days. But he is just the best summonable unit in the game. So stupid. His banner's stupid. Like they put Derriere in the banner, they put Green Escanor, Blue and Melee. They put like so many good units in that banner as well. They did take off the pity rate, which was stupid, but other than that, the banner is fantastic. So he's the best summonable unit in the game. So this is how I end up this. It's pretty decent, I want to say, the new batch of units. Other than Mono, all the other units are very pleasing to have. What am I saying? Mono and Frojin, right? Other than Mono and Frojin, the other units were very good. So yeah, that's pretty much about it. Thank you guys for watching.